I'm here to give you this presentation called Brand Shift, which is a high-level look into the future of brand marketing. And as I've thought about your industry, and a lot of people I talked to yesterday are talking about the consolidation that 1 and 2 and 3 and 10 store chains are looking to be bought out. What happens in industries that get consolidated is the next thing is how do we brand now that we've got the larger footprint? So hopefully with this presentation, I can give you some ideas, very high-level ideas on what you will have to navigate into the future relative to brand marketing. So if we could get the slides up, please, on my presentation. This was, by the way, was based on a book that I wrote that came out in 2014. And sometimes I don't even see things coming. I'm a futurist. And fortunately, it was named one of the top 5 marketing books in the world in 2014. And I'll be personalizing copies this evening, of course, as you know. So Brand Shift. Why did I write this book? Brands and marketing is undergoing an existential crisis with social media, with connectivity. What does marketing mean? What does marketing a brand mean? Massive upheaval transformation. The rapidity of technological change, perhaps more than anything else, as you know, has affected your life. It's also affected brands and marketing. But I think, as somebody, I used to be in the business. I helped launch MTV, and I was at CBS and NBC, so I spent 20-odd years in this business. It used to be like the Mad Men show, right? And now it's completely different. I think now we're entering a new golden age of marketing. So I'm known as the guy who said we've left the information age and we've entered the shift age. And so now a lot of people talk about that. From the vantage point of 2005, as a guy who's read all the great futurists and had a sense of what was happening, I realized that the information age got its name in the early 70s. And from the vantage point of 2005, what had happened since the early 70s? End of the Cold War, global economy, personal computing, the internet, cell phones. Just those 5 things would dictate that we would be entering a new age. And then I thought, well, what's this age going to be called? It's not agricultural, industrial, or information. It's about fundamental shift in all industries, in all ways of life, and how we communicate and everything. So I called it the shift age. A lot of you probably know what the word a meme is, but I'll describe it. A meme is a concept or an idea that courses through the consciousness of a society very quickly. Last year, I think it was the Ice Bucket Challenge, right? Within 60 days, everybody knew what ALS was. Before that, you either had to be a fan of Lou Gehrig's or know somebody who had it. So the Ice Bucket Challenge is a meme. Gangnam Style, right? 2012 was a meme. Something that just courses through. In the future of marketing, memes are going to be a dominant force of how you communicate. But when I say memes to movement, let me give you a profound example. This is not a political statement. But one of the most transformative events in this century was called Occupy Wall Street. Not because it was successful as a movement, but because it created a meme. On September 17th, I think it was, 2011, 75 people went to one place, Wall Street, and, quote, occupied Wall Street. 1 month less, 2 days later, because they wanted to do it on Saturday, on October 15th, over 100,000 people in 2,000 cities in 83 countries had an Occupy demonstration. Never in human history had something gone from 75 people in one place to 100,000 people globally. That's because of the connectivity, right? What was the meme out of Wall Street? Anybody? We're the 99%, right? Think about that. So in the fall of 2011, they came up with this meme. We're the 99%. 1 year later, there's a thing called a presidential election in this country. And the winner, Barack Obama, realized if he could paint his opponent as being part of the 1% in a one-person, one-vote democracy, he would win. So the meme that came out of Occupy Wall Street 12 months later had an effect on the presidential election. And we can't wake up, particularly in this political season, and not read or hear about the 99 and the 1 and the wealth inequality and all of that, right? That's the power of a meme to shape human thought. This is something that you probably remember from high school or college, and it's probably least relevant for your industry as opposed to other retailing industries. It's Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, and all marketers know this. In other words, if you look at esteem in the middle, Gee, I own a Chevrolet, I got some money, I'm gonna get a Cadillac. That was my parents' generation. Or now it's, I'm gonna get a Beamer, right? Shows me. And at the very top, self-actualization, transcendence. Oh, I'm an Apple person. Isn't it beautiful? It says a whole lot about me that I'm cool and different. Physical to non-physical. This is very significant. Remember, I did that thing with the phone, right? There's no time, distance, or place in one of the things that we humans do a lot of, communicate. So place is left communication. We are the first iteration to spend the rest of our lives, and our children spending almost all of their lives in a spatial context, not a place-based context. So the interesting dynamic for you is how you take a really purely place-based business that's successful and market it into a spatial context. I remember, I'm old enough, when 7-Eleven opened. Wow, what a cool concept. Most stores at the time were open 10 to 6, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. What an amazing thing. Of course, now that's really antiquated because it's 24/7, right? But that 7-Eleven, when it first came out, identified a brand. We are here for you when you want us. Now that all convenience stores are here for you when you want us, what's the brand differentiation going to be? You know, and that is the next opportunity I think you have to step into, particularly as you aggregate and the larger players become ever larger. You're going to go, okay, so what's our differentiation? Not just in store, but how do we brand ourselves so that the wife will always want to go to that, or the kids will always want to go to that one, right? You're going to have to do that. Don't sell me a product. Give me information that is about me and will make me feel better about myself. And don't try to manipulate me. Come in right now, only 18 minutes to go to get this deal. That will not work with millennials. They will turn off right away. So you can't use those old ways of trying to manipulate the customer, particularly in your business. Your business is to serve the customer because you're convenience. Brands will be resources. That's the same thing. He was the resource for what my next 3 hours on the road was going to be like. He gave me information, you know, and brands that provide information. Here is the healthy information about the food we're selling. Here is what we know about this category of business. You may never buy from us, but we're going to sell to you. So into the future, big data. Brands will be nodes. Think of it as this neurosphere, right? This whole neurosphere with these nodes of information. So every brand will have to have multiple nodes. You know, obviously a car company will have to have multiple nodes. Consumer business will have to have multiple nodes. You interested in nutrition? We've got the nutrition node. You're interested in flavor? Whatever it is. You're interested in change? You're interested in not changing? You have to have multiple nodes to make this happen. I often talk about when I do retreats in Fortune 500 companies, I say you got to think of your departments, your divisions as nodes of a net, right? The 20th century model was high rises, right? Skyscrapers, silos. The 21st century metaphor is the net. Information moves more quickly across the net. And so I've been saying to CEOs and C-level suite folks, think of your departments as nodes of a net. So when you go into a meeting, and we've all been in too many meetings, right? Oh, what nodalities need to be in this meeting? Oh, the marketing and the finance nodes. So it's the same thing to marketing. When you market out, we want a node for moms. We want a node for kids, you know, and they will find it. It's not just this singular monolithic boom, right? You can be hyper individualistic. You know, if you want to, where your customers are through an app. You know, if you want to, how you're going to greet everybody when they walk in that door. You know, if you want to, anything about your customers. If you don't know about your customers, they're just transients to you. They're not repeat customers. So I happened to go into one convenience store and had a great experience. If they address me a little bit and say, remember, wherever you go, if you come into a you'll get this experience. I will look for a in the next city I'm in, right? So it is the ability to individually target your customers and your potential customers that really makes this the new golden age of marketing. And with that, I thank you, and I hope that if you have any questions or want to talk about anything at all, it'll be almost like an open mic from 11:30 to 12:30. Thank you very much. Thank you.